Vegas time, baby. Mo story. The story is welcome into Let's Talk More Action live. And the reason you're joined by the four of us is because the four of us are the four finalists for the Neighborhood Fantasy Football League. It's a big money league. So I thought today I would invite my partner Brad Shoulders, who made it to the fantasy football playoffs, his son Levi Shoulders, who is taking on his father in the semifinals of the fantasy football playoffs, and my co-soccer coach Jeff Olerud, who's playing me in the other semifinal game. What's up, gentlemen? How are we doing?
I'm doing better than that freaking cheesy ass Vegas T-shirt you're wearing. Tell you that right now.
Time to roll, Brad. It is time to roll because these dice need to be hot this weekend because I need the money because I need to go to Vegas. And if you win this league, it's Vegas money, baby. You can get yourself a flight, you can get yourself a decent hotel room, and you can get yourself a spot at the craps table. So, Jeff, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Yep, good thing's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be tough for your boys to pull it out, I think.
Okay, Levi, I'm glad you were able to join us. I actually think this is pretty cool because it is really, really hard to do just to get in no matter what. It's a 12-team league. It's really hard to get into the fantasy playoffs altogether. Levi won the regular season with the best record. We're going to take a look at that here in a moment. But, I mean, come on. This is pretty cool. Father, son, money at stake, reputation at stake, bragging rights at stake. Levi, you got a pretty cool spot you're in, right?
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to play him because I am the 1 seed and he is the 5 seed. So I honestly thought I was getting you, Trevor, coming in first round because you're the 6 seed. So I thought that I would be getting the lowest remaining, but I matched up against him. So I mean, I would have.
I think he pulled some strings with
Yeah.
the man running the league here to pull that
Hey,
off.
hey,
I
in
could
this
be
country,
wrong.
I know sometimes you can rig elections, sometimes you can rig a fantasy football playoff. Who
That's
knows?
why we might have to get a recount. We're not sure.
Right. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. Let's go inside the numbers for just a slight second. All right, so I'm gonna come back on screen. I am the greatest show on paper, leading 8.7 to nothing right now. That's because we have a live game behind me, which you'll be able to see throughout the night. I have Lad McConkey. So Lad's got 8.7. Let's take a look at the matchup, Jeffrey, between you and I. Right now, let's take a look and see where we're at. Now, I have to admit, Jeff, you've had a lot of injuries throughout the season, and you've battled just to get to this point. So I'm proud of you for just getting here. So tell me a little bit about your team, real quick, how you got here, and maybe some of the injuries that you had to go through to get yourself into this position.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, I think it was after week 7. That's when we had Godwin go down,
Yeah.
and shortly thereafter was Kirk and Diggs. So combined with those guys were probably averaging me about 60 points a week. So since that time, that's when I started accumulating some losses. But I did, end up kind of limping in here to the playoff. It was good to get the bye, but I mean, if you look at our rosters, you got the names on your team. If besides my quarterback and running backs, Harrison Jr. is probably a name you recognize. The other guys, maybe not so much. So yeah.
Well, you had Ayuk on your team too, correct?
I did not. No.
You did. Okay. So
Nope.
mean, again, it's a long fantasy football season, but listen, what we're trying to teach our viewers is if you just get to this position that the four of us are in, we pay first, second, and third. Unfortunately, if you finish in fourth, it is what it is. But it's a pretty cool situation, at least for us, because Jeff and I coach the 10U girls soccer team here in Rockford. So we are often together competing against other teams on the soccer field, and now we find ourselves competing against each other. But I will admit, Jeff, I mean, you had a pretty good team going, and now you kind of have to plug and go with what you got. I mean, Sterling Shepard's kind of like a dart throw. Demario Douglas is the best receiver New England's got. But, I mean, you're really going to have to try to hope one of these guys goes off. I mean, what are you thinking here? I mean, you're going to have a big game, like you said, out of your running backs.
Jeff,
Yeah, I mean,
Jeff, I think Freddie Bolitnikoff is still out there.
hey, hey, I'll take him all day. Let's
I
go.
mean, you were digging deep there. You had a rough patch there, brother. I was feeling for you, man.
Yeah, it's been tough. A lot of plug and play, like you said, Trevor. But hey, you never know. You're here. All you need to do is get yourself to the next week, and anything can happen. So we'll see. There could be some changes made still, but yeah, a lot of plug and play, and yeah, some of
So
it's
is
going to be
this
some
kind of
prayers.
what you're looking at to head into the finals? Is kind of looking at maybe possibly this is probably the starting lineup. I'm not going to pull your bench up at the moment, but I think you got one or two other guys you might be able to throw in there if Shepard can't go. But I mean, we're trying to tell our listeners is Jeff never gave up on his season. He literally lost 3 stars in a matter of a week and a half period, but he kept playing the game. He kept fighting. He kept trying to make acquisitions, and that's what this is all kind of about. So as we go to get into later in the show, we always get into our betting angles and things like that. But tonight's a pretty cool moment to be able to have us 4 on. But it's a really unfortunate set of circumstances because he had a much, much better team in the middle of the year before you see what is in front of you, which in my mind, Jeff, I'll be honest with you, is a damn dumpster fire.
Weren't you like 8-0 or something at one time, Jeff?
Yeah, I was, and then
Yeah.
as soon as those guys were out, that's when the losses started coming. I'm probably 500 since that point, but hey, we're here.
Way to battle, buddy.
Yep, that's
Way to
right.
battle.
That's
But you
right.
got
That's right.
yourself
It does
there.
look like a dumpster fire for sure, Trevor. But hey, like I said, got the bye, solidified that. We'll see what happens this week, and hopefully I can see another day.
Those
All
first
right.
3 guys on your roster can go off at any time, though.
Exactly.
Oh,
and they could
100%.
throw up a huge number. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go inside our other matchup, which is pretty cool. Again, father-son. So Ottawa Camel Toe is Brad, the co-host of this Less Talk, More Action .live podcast. His projected total is 140.2. This is freaking wild. Brad, your son, Team Shoulders, by the way, needs a team name by next year. His total projection by ESPN standards is 140.2. This is freaking wild as we're watching this live right now. That you two have the exact same projected total, which doesn't usually mean jack. But take us inside the matchup. Levi, I want to talk to you first. You had the best record in the league, 12-2 overall. You've got a really good team. Your quarterback seemed to let you down fantasy-wise throughout the season at times. But, Jordan Addison has stepped up. Tyreek's been kind of a disappointment. But what are you expecting out of your boys this weekend?
I'm hoping for a good showing. I was on the fence tonight whether to play Kyler or Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is off to a pretty hot start. But I think that Kyler
I haven't been able to watch the game. I've been setting this up.
He's got, I think, scroll down a little bit. I think he's got 15 at half.
That's not good.
2 touchdowns. Yeah.
It's a good start.
But Kyler's on the road in Carolina. I'm hoping Swift can have a big game against Detroit. Their run defense is real banged up, but I just lost Montgomery, so that was a huge loss into the playoffs.
Oh, that's right. You had him.
Yeah, I just lost him on the bye week, but I'm still not set on my lineup for sure. I'm in between a couple guys with Penix just getting named the starter. I took Drake London out for now, but I might have to plug him in over Tyreek because he has been pretty disappointing. And then if Bowers might ultimately get to sit, though, if Aiden O'Connell doesn't play, because with Desmond Ridder in there, it's been awful.
And Levi might be the only guy in all of ESPN fantasy sports that starts 2 tight ends and still wins his league with it. Take a look at that
But
lineup.
he's got the 2 best. It's the 2 best in the league in my mind.
I know it, but it's been a down year for tight ends as a whole, and this guy's playing 2 in his freaking lineup every week, and he wins the damn league. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I stole Bowers in like the 11th or 12th round, I want to say, too. So
Did you really?
Steal.
Yeah,
No.
It was like the 11th or 12th. Yeah, if you go back to the draft recap, I think it was the 11th round.
Look at his lineup. He's got a who's who of freaking team there. Just look at that son of a bitch.
Yeah, and I got Drake London. Jamison Williams has been solid, too, on the bench. But, I took Bowers.
Let's stick there for a second. So we bring it to your father. Probably, this is a family show. But I got to bring it over to Ottawa Camel Toe. You guys take that for what it's worth to my viewing audience. Perceive that how you'd like. but you're
I'm
starting.
I'm gonna do another shameless plug here for our
Okay, we are. We do
oh,
need a sponsor. We do need a sponsor.
boom
What
boom.
is this? Oh, the boom boom stick.
That helps me free the mind up a little bit, think a little clearer, breathe a little clearer, obviously.
And where
That's
do you
that
purchase?
new pink stuff,
Where
is
do you
it?
purchase?
This one here is mind my old age here, but this one here is lavender.
Okay,
So
and it's
for any of
purchased
you,
where?
I don't have panic attacks, but this is supposed to help anyone that has panic attacks. But playing Levi's team here this week gave me a little bit of a heart flutter. So I'm going to go with lavender.
Okay, can I
And
hold on? Hang on. I got to make sure we get this in. You did not buy that off some guy on the corner of Arch Street in Ottawa. Where did you buy it at?
TikTok shop, baby, where everything's bought nowadays. Come on.
So it's sold at Walgreens or something.
No, it was seen on Shark Tank.
Okay, so it's a
And
legal product. That's what
oh
we're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah. I wouldn't do any. I'm not doing anything illegal here now. Come on.
Okay, so we need a
That's for when
sponsor,
I'm
by the
off.
way.
That's when I'm off
Zen,
camera.
Zen, we need a sponsor. We could go with Zen, the Boom Boom Stick. We could Jim Beam if
Tito's.
you need something. You know, we need a sponsor. So, anyways, all right, let's go back inside this fast.
The shameless
Stone,
plug.
you picked him up. He's your tight end now, but you're obviously the guy that's carrying you here is Jamar Chase. You're going to need a pretty big game out of him, but I think actually Josh Jacobs is going to be where you're going to get most of your points from this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Viking fan, and their secondary is pretty weak. So, I mean, I got a couple changes I might make before kickoff too on Sunday, but I did plug Stone Smart in tonight. I noticed that Otten's been wearing a knee brace all week and hasn't practiced, so I'm like, I can't go down to Sunday and hope he's playing. So I stuck the old Stoner in there tonight, and I'm hoping to get double digits out of him. So we'll see where it goes. Sometimes you got to take a flyer.
They're going to have to throw the ball. All right. So, what is like with you and your son in the same house? Just tell me about the environment and the atmosphere as you guys head into this massive semifinal matchup.
Well, to be honest with you, again, like he said, I was hoping we wouldn't match up till the championship, and then I was going to crawl to him and ask him if he wanted to do a split. Just because that's a good percentage play to do anyway. But I'm keeping my mouth shut. He's been keeping his mouth shut. We usually do talk a lot of shit amongst each other, but for some reason there's some kind of freaky little respect going on right now, and neither one of us is talking too much shit. And I'm not going to dance on his head if I beat him because he's my boy, but he'll damn sure dance on my head if he beats me. That's just how it goes.
As it should.
Yeah. I think at 3:00 is when I'll know whether Jamar Chase has gone off for his every other 50-point game that he's had. That'll help me.
Maybe you guys do a little side bet here. Whoever makes it out, and if they can pull off a W, maybe Levi, you get that W. Take your dad out to dinner or something. Maybe a night on the town, some drinks, maybe some dice with Trevor.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. I didn't even think about that.
The problem with that is that we'll make that bet, and the night on the town or out to dinner, if he wins, will be frickin' Culver's. If I win, it's going to be some prime steakhouse.
I got a little extra money now since one of my friends here decided to bet me $100 on the Bears Viking game straight up. So
no point spread.
Wow.
Who's that guy?
That's how cocky Bears fans are. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
He didn't let us. Hey, he didn't let us in on that action, though. Did you notice that?
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
He was wanting to go to. Yeah, he was wanting to go to 200. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna take your money. So we'll settle at 100. And he wanted straight up, just cocky Bears fan who I heard all offseason that playoffs at least, Super Bowl. But yeah,
right.
I had a.
Okay, so let's get into that real quick because I'm going to keep you four on here. We've only got, again, we try to keep the show to about 30 minutes, so we just went through our fantasy, semifinal matchups. It's just odd that this is how it all shook out. It's actually super cool. Father-son, coach on coach violence, and we'll see who emerges the big winner. But in the meantime, so what also is interesting is the four of us that are on this are all Vikings fans. Like, we all live in Illinois, and we're all Vikings fans, and we really can't stand the damn Bears. So what I will give you, though, is this. I come to you guys this. How are we feeling I'll go to you, Jeff, first, real quick, because we're going to move around to some of our best bets of the weekend. But how are you feeling here about the Minnesota Vikings? I mean, do you think that this is an actual Super Bowl contending team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're an actual contender. I don't think they get the respect that they deserve. You got Detroit, who everybody's talking about, and but I think they play well off of that. I think they know that, and I think it keeps them going. I think the longer they're under the radar, the further they're going to go. But yeah, it'll be interesting here. They're still, starting the season. There wasn't really high expectation, but obviously expectations were succeeded. So, but yeah, still have a couple tough games. That end game against Detroit, I think, will be a good tell to who the better team is going into the playoffs. And but yeah, I mean they're there, which is awesome. I'm excited for them.
Dude, we're on house money. That the over under for wins this year for them was like 6.5. They're
Yeah,
playing on house money right now.
I know. Just talking about the Bears, I mean, between all the hype around them, like yeah, they way their bar was set very high. I don't know why, but yeah, it's great to see the Vikings do well, and I'm excited for the playoffs.
All right, so let's go inside this real quick. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to take a closer look at this for 1 second. So again, we're doing this live. This is not a tape show. So can you boys see my screen and everything look good all right there?
Yep.
Okay. Here's what I want to say. I got to give credit where credit's due. I was sitting in the basement that Brad and Levi are probably sitting in. I think Levi, I know their house. He's probably up in his room. Dad's in his basement, multi-television screen. Dad owns his own business. Got a lot going on. Really busy guy. But what I will tell you is there was some point where I was at your house. I recall this. So sitting on the couch, and you turned to me and you said, "Why not the Vikings? Why can the Vikings not win the entire NFC?" And I believe, if I'm wrong, am I right? It was 40-1 at that moment. Am I correct when I say that, or something look crazy like 44-1 or something?
It was in that ballpark for sure.
Okay, and you said, I actually really firmly believe at this moment they can do it. What was it in your mind that you actually thought that Sam Darnold could pick himself up off the mat and become relevant in the NFL?
Because I thought that he was a more athletic man than the guy they just got rid of that went to Atlanta and fell straight on his face, Cousins. Yeah. They both. I mean, he has the arm talent. I seen the team they were putting together. I mean, their defense was getting better under Flores. They were drafted in that regard. They have playmakers all over on offense. If Darnold could just manage the offense and be more athletic than Cousins was, I mean, I thought they could be a good team, and they are. They're following through. So, plus, I mean, I bleed purple, so that helps too.
And Aaron Jones has been a nice addition.
Sure,
so
Levi,
you got a big game. You got a pretty big game coming up this weekend. When we're looking at this, you got the Bears and you got the Lions. I mean, you're looking at some pretty big games here this weekend. And then when you take a look at, hang on, give me 1 second. I'm just going to scroll through this. And then you got Minnesota and Seattle. Minnesota on the road against Seattle. Seattle, obviously a tough place to play. What are you thinking?
It's going to be a little tougher this week than the Packers had last week because Geno got banged up, but they said him and Kenneth Walker are expected to play Sunday. So adding Kenneth Walker is a little tough because our run defense isn't the greatest. I still like us, though, for -3. And I also, if you were to put that into a teaser, I like Bears if you get it at like plus 12.5. I think they're going to give Detroit some trouble.
Yes. All right.
Let's
get into the betting side of things. We have only a few minutes left in the show. Let's get into the betting side of things. And guess what I did? Oh, baby. Woo-hoo, yeah. Let me pull up the old plays and tell you what I was thinking. So I am on the same page right now as Levi. Here's what I'm thinking. I have the Chicago Bears. So let's go inside the play real quick. If I take a look at this, to Levi's point, I'm going to go inside the Chicago Bears. I'm going to click them and get myself plus 6.5. But remember, we're working with teasers here, and he's talking about that. I wanted to tease them with the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons. And the reason for this is I know the Falcons are a big line. Actually, this is perfect. In the time we've been on the podcast, they moved from 3 to 8.5, which is a great number Because when you're teasing, that's what this is all about. Now, I don't know why I just lost this. Give me a second. Like I said, we're a live show. So don't talk amongst yourselves. Let me get into the play. So there's my play still right there. So Atlanta now is 8.5. So what I'm trying to teach you guys is you only need 2 teams for a 2-team teaser. So what Levi's saying is you're going to be able to add 6, 6.5, or 7 points. So when you come into the bet slip down here, I'm going to try to expand this for you guys, because it says teaser right here. You click teaser. Now, it's going to tell you you're +6 right here. So to Levi's point, you're catching 12.5 points with the Bears. I like that number. Remember, on Thanksgiving, they blew it because of a bad coaching decision and not using timeouts. And then the Falcons, you could get -2.5 right here. So I'm using this dummy account. But if you were to hypothetically say, let's put 100 on it, it's going to pay you back $75.01. And I like this. You only have to have the Falcons now win a game who, like Jeff had talked about earlier, he's got Bijan Robinson. It's a run-heavy offense, and I think they can win the game by 3. And I do think the Bears, because Monty is out, can keep this game close. What do you boys think?
I like it. Detroit's banged up, and their defense is just getting weaker and weaker. I don't see why the Bears can't come in. And it is in Chicago, and I don't know how the weather's looking like, but Goff and them have not played in the cold yet this year.
Correct. He's not good in the cold weather either. So I like.
And the Giants are, and the Giants are one of the worst teams in football, and I think Penix can be better than Cousins has been. So,
well, and again,
I like it.
Jeff had talked about it. I believe, Jeff, you talked about it earlier, and so did Brad, that just Cousins and Jameis Winston, if there's one thing you can guarantee on a frickin' Sunday, one thing is both of those guys are usually going to throw an interception at some point during the game.
Even better, we get DTR this week instead of Jameis.
Right. Well, no,
Well, I got
Jameis in there.
staying on that call right there, son. Is I like to run a teaser with the Bengals. They're laying 8. Let's get them down to 2, and let's take the frickin' Hoosiers up to frickin' 13.5.
No. Okay. To our audience, we're going to try to stay in one aspect. We want to work on the NFL. So, Brad, believe it or not, my other teaser is the Bengals and the Texans. Bengals -2.
I love the Texans. I got them on my list too. I love the Texans.
Okay. All right. So, can we avoid the Indiana Hoosiers, please?
I'm just a little boomed up.
Obviously. So let's go back into the play real quick. Give you guys the other play. So we have a Saturday game, by the way. This is huge. Patrick Mahomes is his ankle rolled up on +3.5, -8.5. Here's what we want to show you though. When we go into this teaser right here again, and it's going to show you that we're in the teaser system and you get 6. I don't want to sit, Brad. If you remember, Brad and I, we're trying to teach you guys something. You don't want to sit here on this number 9.5 right here. I'm highlighting that. You do not want to sit on that 9.5. That is bad news, because if you lose by 10, and you're going to kick yourself for losing that. So what I'm going to show you is by the half, go to 10 and -2. Do yourself a little favor, pay a little extra juice. This one's 100 now for $70. You cost yourself $5 to get that half a point. Brad, what do you think?
You gotta get off that. You gotta get right what you're talking. And same thing with say the Bengals were at 9 and you take them down to 3. Buy that hook and get it to 2.5, because most games end in a field goal or a touchdown. You know what I mean? Spread.
Agreed.
So you want to get off those numbers if you can.
Okay, so right now we've given you our 2 teaser plays. So if you're in agreement with me, I got the Bengals -2, Texans +10, and we were on the Bears with Levi at +12.5 and the Falcons at -2.5.
Now, Jeff, give us something. Give us something to talk about, Jeff.
You know what? You guys laid it out there pretty good. You guys got me betting now.
I'm gonna throw.
I wasn't even gonna do it. You guys are teaching me something. Let's go.
I'm gonna throw one more in there. I'm gonna bet Trey McBride touchdown this week. He's the leading tight end, and he has not caught a touchdown all year.
Wait, what?
He's a leading tight end right now. He's got 89 catches with no touchdowns. He has a rushing touchdown. He has no receiving touchdowns on the year.
Hang on a minute. I got to come back full screen. You got to be absolutely kidding me right now. I didn't know that he doesn't have a
Nope.
touchdown.
No, he
No,
doesn't. He's
he
right.
does not have a touchdown
He's
all
right.
year. So I've seen a bunch of people putting on they're going touchdown or 2 touchdowns on Sunday.
Okay.
I mean, how do you even do
Who scored in
that?
this game? Who scored? We're going.
Let me look.
It better be frickin' Stoner right now catching a pass.
Is this a 2-point?
Yeah, it was 2 points. So somebody just scored.
Oh.
Somebody said McConkey.
Gus Edwards, number 2. Gus Edwards, number 2.
Gus.
I just dropped him.
Yeah, he also dropped Tajay Spears, I think, at some point throughout the point.
Which he had a big week last week.
He did. I waited all fucking year for that. Excuse my
Yeah,
language.
you did. Yeah, you did. All right, well, we're getting close to the end of the show, so we've given you the teasers. Now we're going to give you Levi's play. Let's go into the player prop real quick as we begin to close the show. So the Arizona Cardinals, which Levi's quarterback too is Kyler Murray. So Cardinals are here.
And I have Trey McBride.
Sorry, what's that?
I have Trey McBride as well. So yeah.
How convenient.
Yes. So we're going to go into the game. You click on the game. You come here and it says touchdown scores, and you click on this. Now, what Levi's saying is you can go anytime. Okay, so here.
You're not sharing the screen. I don't know if you're trying to, Trev.
Oh, am I supposed to? Oh, see? Thank you, guys. I appreciate
Yep.
this.
Good call, BI.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Jeff, for hanging around. I hope you're playing the games we're going to give you here because these are winners. So
There we go.
I clicked on the game. I went into the game, and then it gives you last, first, and anytime. Can you guys see this now?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
we got you.
All right, so what Levi's saying is, man, that gives you good money to go first. 7-1 odds, but what he's going to play is the safe play. And this is, I can't believe he has not scored. That is
Nope.
insane.
No receiving touchdown. Only a rushing touchdown.
90 catches and not one in the end zone. That's something else, ain't it?
It's crazy.
That is insane. So you come here plus 125. Okay, and again, we're going by units. So here's the other thing is, I want to talk to you guys real quick about this. A unit. For Levi, he's younger. You're 22, right?
Correct.
Okay, 22. His budget's probably a lot different than mine, Jeff's, and his father's. And so a unit to him, let's say, is $10. So you plug in 10, it's $12.50. A unit to me is $25. So if I'm coming in here at $25, it's paying me $31.25. Now Brad, he's a high roller. He's coming in at $200 a shot. So he's going to win $250. I'm kidding. I don't know what Brad's coming in. I don't know what it is.
Easy now. The IRS might be listening.
Exactly. We call it the unit because everybody has a different system and a different value they put on it. So if Levi's betting 10, this is a decent return for $12.50 for him to score. So I like that. The Trey McBride play is great. Jeffrey, do you have anything in the Vikings game or anything that you think would be worth playing in one of these games coming up this weekend? Are you willing to bet on one of your fantasy football dumpster receivers to get in the end zone? You want to do a little dumpster diving, Jeffrey?
I don't know if I'll do the dumpster dive, but I like Harrison Jr. to score for the Cardinals. I think they're going to have a big game. Levi was talking about it, but I like him getting in the end zone on what they play on Sunday, right? So I like that play.
So here's the thing is, both these guys have the same game. The Panthers have a horrendous pass defense. So let's do it, guys. Let's show them how to do a little same-game parlay because if anytime touchdown McBride and anytime touchdown, Maserati Marv, that's what they call him, Maserati Marv gets in the end zone. If you put a little $10 unit on there, it's a $50 winner, boys. That is a good return. $50 is a good return. And again, if you're going $25, you're at $123.09. So what's cool about this is they both like a player in the same game. Why not parlay them? And you hope that Kyler Murray is now going to throw 2 touchdown passes in that game to net yourself a little profit that is about 5.5 to 1. Not bad. Not bad at all, Jeff. I think it's a pretty good play.
I think it's going to be a big day for the Cardinals.
I'd love to see it for my team.
Before I let everybody run, does anybody have any other play that I need to know about, Brad? Do you have? Are you gonna hit us
Hoosiers.
with
The
Indiana Hoosier?
Hoosiers. The Hoosiers.
I don't like this at all.
I'm just telling you, I think Notre Dame is overrated, and it's an
Okay.
in-state rivalry, and the Hoosiers.
I got one to hop on. My dad and I were just talking about it earlier. Going to a
1
little,
second.
going to a little baseball. The
Okay,
the the
okay, hang on. Now you're going to baseball.
He's got a Caribbean World Series play for you. Tune in.
the White Sox win total is 49.5.
Yeah,
That's low.
come on.
They were in the 30s.
30.
Dude, I mean, come on. I'm with you, Lee.
So you like Indiana at really right here? You like Indiana at plus 7.5?
I do. I think I like their coach. I think that Notre Dame's overrated. They're overrated every flipping year. And I just, if you put them in a teaser, I really like them. Getting 13, I'd tease it up to 14, but I really like them, man. But hey, to each his own. There's some good college games this weekend. That's a whole nother show, but I like the Hoosiers.
I do. I get it. Notre Dame, though, to me, has a good rushing attack, and so does Penn State. I really like this Penn State play. Both those guys can really run the football. Both teams can run it. Brad, usually kind of how we're at it as I wrap the show up, kind of where we're at is if Brad and I kind of disagree on something, we usually say, let's not play it.
Let it lie. Let it lie.
But I will come to you, Levi, for the final 30 seconds. I'm going to go into baseball. I can't believe saying this. This is all that's popping up. It's the Girls Del Jalisco League. So you got to be kidding me.
I don't know. I was gonna say I saw it on DraftKings. That's where I saw it.
What was the win total?
49.5.
I mean, come on, dude.
They're like minus 110.
You could lose 100. You could lose 100. You could lose 110 games and still cover that.
And they didn't cover it last year. They were
terrible. But they were terrible last year. They're going to let all their young guys get on the field this year. They got a good pitching staff really for his. I mean, just saying. I mean, you can't roll out 2 50-win seasons in a row, can you? Come on. Who does that? Who does that?
Jeff's a big Twins fan. They're in the Twins division.
They are. I think if it is another 50-loss season, however many losses, if they match that, I think the White Sox are gone. I think they're going to Nashville or somewhere. I don't think they'll be around.
They might have to.
That would be unbelievable if that happened. But hey, you know what? I've seen crazier things, I guess.
When's the last time you've seen a 49.5 win total in Major League Baseball? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Is it so?
Yeah, they got to get at least 50, right?
Yeah, come on. That's 50 and one.
Yeah, I can show you real quick.
Finley likes it.
You know what that means? That means the dogs are barking. The dogs are trying to tell you, take the dogs. Take the dogs.
They got dog night at Sox Park. We may be going. That might be for the 51st win.
Your dog can take the shit all over, what is it, Comerica Park or whatever. I don't even know what they call it.
Guaranteed rate, man.
Guaranteed rate.
Guaranteed 50 wins.
Dog can take a shit all over guaranteed rate. That's all I care about that. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of Let's Talk More Action.live. Boys, that was awesome. So cool. I think it's so awesome that it's the father-son semifinals and it's coach-on-coach violence. I hope McConkey's catching a ball or two since we've had this show on. I hope I'm doing something.
Good luck to all.
Good luck, boys.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks, fellas.
We are going to put this up. We will have content. This will be up tomorrow, and then we will have more content each and every week, especially as we roll into the college football semifinals and as we get ready for the NFL playoffs. So, to all of you, have a very Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you.
Skull.
Yes, the boom boom stick, oh skull. We will talk to you
next
week. But have a very, very Merry Christmas, you all.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Good
holidays.
night.
See you, fellas.
See you
See you
guys.
guys.